Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today I wanted to show you how coalitions work in WarPath, but also how node capture, reward sharing, and repute work when in a coalition. These are important things to know because it affects your level 4 and how you'll cooperate with your ally, and also how you should or shouldn't argue over nodes anymore. If you don't know, coalitions are teams of alliances automatically allied together for level 4 that are organized into the Northern Front, Eastern Front, Southern Front, and Western Front teams based on the area of the map that you start in. So up on the screen here, we actually can see that in the Cairo Legendary 2 battlefield, and each coalition will typically have 2 alliances in each coalition, though we've seen fields in, let's say, Silver Tier with up to 16 alliances on a Moscow map. Pretty insane. Not all battlefields have coalitions. Some battlefields are traditional, but it seems that it's the matchmaking process that determines whether your battleground is a coalition battleground or just a regular battleground. You also don't get to pick your coalition partner, although you are going to be automatically treated, and you do have the ability to dissolve that treaty. Let's go into Cairo and take a look here. I'll actually go to my battlefield. We can take a look at the coalition. There's a new coalition tab, and in this coalition tab, you'll be able to see your coalition partner. In our case, I am the R5 of United Power on a server 26, and my coalition partner is the Boss Alliance. You can also see that here there's this green button. This is the coalition peace treaty, and you can see it's currently signed, and in this state, members of the 2 alliances cannot attack each other, so it behaves just like any normal peace treaty. This state will continue until the end of the conquest or until one of the 2 parties chooses to dissolve the peace treaty. And after dissolving the peace treaty, you must wait 24 hours before you can renew it. Perfectly safe to dissolve. There's just a 24-hour timer that goes by. Once that passes, you can basically just sign the treaty again. It does require both Alliance R5s or R4 to sign the coalition treaty. So if one alliance dissolves it and you go to sign it back and the other alliance chooses not to sign it, you cannot renew your coalition peace treaty. In addition to that, you still also can have a traditional peace treaty on top of that, though there's no point in having both. So what you can do is you can actually dissolve your coalition treaty if you choose to, and you can actually put in place just a normal peace treaty that still costs 1,000 gold. The benefit of the coalition treaty, though, is that it's free and nobody has to pay that 1,000 gold cost. Now, you can still also have peace treaties with alliances outside of your coalition. So even though coalition battlegrounds pair alliances in a 2x2x2x2 configuration, you can still choose to have peace treaties with alliances of the other coalitions, and you can still arrange it in, say, like a 4v4 matchup. Now, in our battlefield, we still did a 2v everybody to make it the most fun event possible. On Cairo was still boring as heck. What's also interesting is originally Lilith was supposed to introduce a coalition feature that allowed alliances to sign up and pair themselves. They even showed an early pre-release screenshot of this. But what we have today are coalitions that are automatically formed by the matchmaking system. So what's really most important about coalitions is when it comes to Raven nodes, capture rewards, specifically first capture rewards, RPM or repute per minute, and how you should share these with your coalition partner. First off, let's go into the level 4 missions. So one really nice thing about coalitions, Lilith introduced coalition missions separate from alliance missions. So you have your traditional commander missions. These are your defeating of the Raven troops and defeating of the Raven bunkers. Then we have the alliance missions, which revolve around increasing the total alliance repute. So this is all players' repute combined in your alliance from farming bunkers using energy. What they did was they took all the alliance missions related to node capture, such as controlling military labs, towns, arms factories, and settlements, and they've separated that into the coalition missions. What's most important about this is that it doesn't matter which alliance in the coalition captures these nodes. So if the United Power Alliance captures one military lab and the Boss Alliance captures another military lab, each one of those captures counts towards the 2 total military labs on the coalition missions. The reason that's really nice is it used to be an alliance mission, and so your actual alliance would have to own 2 military labs to complete that. So in that sense, the coalition feature is actually much, much nicer. We can look at that in the Places tab of the Alliance section, and we can actually see all the different Raven nodes that both the United Power and the Boss Alliance own on the Cairo map. And these are all of our nodes across the entire map. They are shared between the United Power and Boss Alliance. So in that regard, to complete all missions in the level 4, it does not matter who takes what. Each alliance that's part of the coalition is contributing to that total count. And as you can see in our battlefield, we completed all coalition missions, including the 5 settlement missions. So we're going to leave Cairo with all rewards. Now, even though coalition missions are now shared, there are still some reasons that each individual alliance will want to own nodes, and that basically boils down to the alliance missions and repute, okay? So the way repute works is you actually get repute for the first capture of a settlement, first capture of a town, arms factory, and then you have the repute per minute of each individual node. So let's actually go find a node and take a look at this. We'll go back to the places tab and we'll look at a town because towns provide about 8 repute per minute. So for a town, we can see that the repute for the first capture is 80,000 repute, and then the town produces 8 repute per minute. Now, why is repute important? Because in the conquest rankings, we still have the fighting machine and the alliance repute score. And of course, you want to rank 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively for however many alliances you're working with in that battlefield. Now they also introduce coalition repute. When you capture a town or an arms factory, the first capture repute does go towards the coalition repute. So again, it doesn't matter if the Boss Alliance or United Power captures that particular town, both alliances are going to get the 80,000 repute for that particular capture, and that goes into the coalition repute mission. What's still important, and I confirmed this with Lilith's support, is the capturing alliance still gets that 80,000 repute towards their alliance repute score. The other alliance does not. So while you have a shared coalition repute score, and ours is 5 million, the United Power repute of 11.9 million is because we've captured far more nodes in the United Power name, and we've gotten the first capture repute reward for those. So there still is a reason to work with your allies in terms of what nodes each alliance is going to actually capture, or even swapping nodes so both alliances get the first capture reward, because each alliance does not automatically get, let's say, that 80,000 points from the town by one alliance capturing it alone. So that is extremely important to know, because that can make or break whether all alliances in your coalition will complete the missions. The second thing that I actually confirmed with Lilith's support is the repute per minute still only applies to the holding alliance of the node. So in this case, we have the Uptown. The 8 alliance points per minute still only go to the United Power alliance. That does not increase the coalition repute, because again, if we go into the coalition repute tab and we look here, we can see that the rewards are only the first capture rewards, and we can see rankings are updated every 5 minutes. The first time any alliance in a coalition captures a strategic place in the city, the coalition will earn a massive amount of repute. When any alliance in a coalition holds a strategic place, the coalition will earn a steady income of repute. So the 8 points per minute does apply to the coalition repute, but the 8 points per minute does not apply to the alliance repute if you don't actually hold that node. They are 2 separate scores. So technically both alliances do gain the benefits, is how Lilith explained it. So both alliances will get the 2.25 military funds every day, and both alliances will get the 8 points per minute, but it's really more a matter of that 8 point per minute goes to the coalition score for both alliances, but also only to the alliance that holds it for the alliance score. So that makes a pretty big difference. That's an important subtle distinction to know, and that can make or break your level 4. Otherwise, when you take a town or an arms factory, the capture rewards that would normally be here at the bottom, the gold, the speed ups, all alliances in the coalition get that. So at the end of the day, there's absolutely zero reason both alliances and a coalition should be arguing over who actually takes the node first in terms of the rewards that you're going to get from the node. Both alliances get those first capture rewards. And ultimately, it's such a small amount of gold and such a small amount of speed ups. What you're really interested in is cooperating as a team to complete the coalition missions. So that way, when the event ends, your coalition walks away with all of these rewards, which contain the officer statues and refined components and camp coupons, which are way more valuable than arguing over, let's say, 1,200 gold and 40 hours worth of speed ups on the node. Okay, and the last and most important thing about the coalition system, and I also confirmed this with Lilith's support, comes to the profile medals for holding the Great Pyramid. So if we go to my profile, so what every R5 is typically after is the medal awarded to the leader of the alliance that controls the Kremlin at the end of the Moscow Theater of Conquest. So that's a R5 exclusive medal. There is also a medal awarded to the members of the alliance that controls the Kremlin at the end of the conquest. So what I confirmed with Lilith support is profile medals, at least for the alliance that holds it, that is still alliance specific. So being in a coalition, all the alliances in the coalition don't get the medal. Only the alliance that actually holds the town hall, Kremlin, or pyramid at the end of the conquest will actually get the alliance or R5 medal. Another thing about coalitions is the conquest battle plan. A lot of these combat plan missions are also coalition oriented. You can actually see on day 33, capture one settlement in other areas in Cairo with your coalition and defend it until the time runs out. So a lot of these apply to the coalition. There are still a few combat plan missions that are alliance specific, but the wording has been updated on a lot of these, so it's pretty obvious. But I think there were some like this Retrospect 2 with at least two Oasis towns. I think that one was alliance specific. And then of course, some of the combat plan missions apply directly to the commander as well, such as the killing of 1,000 enemy reserves in Cairo. So overall, I hope that this helps you. Those are some subtle things about coalitions that I think everybody should know. But the most important thing, if you could take away from this video, would basically be, in general, work as a team with your coalition partner. There's no reason really to fight over nodes. Help each other get the Repute missions done and come to a sensible agreement on ultimately who walks away with the profile medals. But when it comes to level 4 and coalitions, really the only thing to maybe have an argument about is who is actually going to get profile medals. Beyond that, with the coalition system, Lilith has made it where it's completely feasible for alliances in the coalition to complete all the missions, get all the repute, no problem. And I think that's one of the best things they've ever done to level 4, because frankly, nobody likes to go to a level 4 and spend the entire event arguing with all the alliances that you're trying to work with. It's a complete drama fest, complete pain, and I think coalitions are a great way to solve that problem. I do think the coalition system can still be improved, however, such as allowing alliances to get a profile medal as part of the coalition, and then still maybe have an alliance leader medal. But that would be one way to improve that, because fighting over the center is still a contention point, and at the end of the day, it takes the team to win the level 4 event. So guys, if you found this video helpful, definitely let me know in the comments below. But you are watching DX7 Gaming, and we will see you next time.